Is she calling
Deb, I reset my emails to the old address.
Oh, okay, good. Excellent.
Okay, I got 9:30, no, it's 9. I got 7:31 on the clock. Let's get this party started. Welcome everybody to, actually, yeah, got that. Welcome everybody to the December 13th, 2022 edition of the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals. All participating members of the Rockland Zoning Board are participating remotely. That would be myself. That would be Mr. Tanzi, Mr. Haynes, Mr. Baker Senior, Mr. Baker Junior, and Mr. Galley. So let's, I'd entertain a motion to open.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Need a second?
Second,
Got a second. Roll call. Myself is yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yeah.
Mr. Baker Senior,
yes.
Mr. Baker Junior.
Yes.
Here we go. 7:30 PM, remotely conducted public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals. Before I finish, I just want to make sure that everybody saw the notification that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed. 7:30 PM, remotely conducted public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. At 7:30 PM on the application submitted by Felipe De Silva Pinheiro, 45 Greenwood Street, Rockland, Mass. 02370 for a chapter 40A, section 6 finding and or an appeal from a decision of the zoning enforcement officer pursuant to the zoning bylaws 415-35, off-street parking requirements, 415-88 general provisions, 415-90 violations and penalties, and 415-92 procedure for appeals. The petitioner is seeking a finding that having his tow trucks on his property will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood and or appealing the cease and desist order dated October 24th, 2022, relating to the premises known as and numbered 45 Greenwood Street, Rockland, Mass. Rockland, Mass. The property is located in R1 residence zoning district, 415-8 of the zoning bylaw, and is further identified as lot 23, map 28 on the Rockland assessors maps. The owner of the property is Felipe De Silva Pinheiro. Please forgive me if I'm butchering that. 45 Greenwood Street, Rockland, Mass. 02370. Further details and plans for this project are on file in town clerk's office and zoning board's office and on the town's website. Okay. Where are we? Who is here? I don't see. Is anybody here? Is anybody here for 45 Green Street? I see no one that wants to talk. Deb, do we have his contact? Do we have his contact information?
I can send him an email.
No phone number?
Would you, yeah, I do have a phone number. Do you want me to call him?
Yeah, shoot him a text message or call him or something like that. I think in this situation, we might be able to take this stuff out of order if somebody says, hey, make a motion to take things out of order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
So
call.
moved.
So moved. I need a second on that.
I'll
Second.
second it.
I got a second motion by Mr. Baker Jr., second by Mr. Tanzi. Roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yeah.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly move over to 7:45 PM, remotely conducted public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022 at 7:45 PM on the application submitted by Karen and Gregory Kloof. Is that
Sure,
correct? Is that
sure.
correct? 60 Green Street, Rockland, Mass. 02370 for Chapter 40A, Section 6 finding and variances 415-89.1 pursuant to 415-22 building and lot regulations and 415-24 non-conforming uses. The applicant is proposing, if approved, to construct a 26 by 28 two-story attached garage to an allegedly pre-existing non-conforming structure to move the front entry to face the street and remove and repair the rear brick steps relating to the known as the property is located, repair the brick steps relating to the premises known as and numbered 60 Green Street, Rockland, Mass. The property is located in the R2 Residence Zoning District 415-9 of the bylaw and is further identified as lot 167, map 38 on the Rockland Assessors maps. The owner of the property are Karen and Gregory
Fluff.
Ruff, 60 Green Street, Rockland, Mass. 02370. Further details and plans for the project are on file in the town clerk and zoning board offices and on the town's website. I apologize. I didn't mean to stutter there. It's just all of a sudden I got text messages and stuff. So
Rob,
That's fine.
phone's going.
Yeah.
Tony.
I hate to be a pain, but if the notice is for 7:45, you have to wait for 7:45.
Yeah, but can't we take it out of order?
I don't know if it's notice for 7:45, usually you wait till the time. You can take things out of order if you have the whole meeting starting at 7:30 and don't identify each particular case for a certain time, but because this was identified for 7:45, I don't know.
We've done it in the past.
When someone jumps and a butter jumps on after you're done, then there'll be issues.
Dig it. I appreciate that. So I guess we're,
I know I'm being a pain. Just in case.
no,
somebody-
that's fine. No. That's why you're here, dude. You're doing your job. I'm not gonna fault you for doing your job, man. Besides, I think I got Felipe in the car. I think. I think that's him. Felipe, if that is you, you're gonna have to put it on. You're on mute at this point. You gotta unmute it.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, well, I got it now.
Okay. All right, Mr. and Miss Pluff, we're gonna have to put you on, okay. All right, we opened the public hearing. We're waiting to hear from you. So, talk to us and tell us what you're proposing at this point.
Looking to park the trucks at the house.
For what purpose? You have to be a little bit more specific, sir, because
I do 24 hours towing. So I kind of need the trucks at the house in case I get roadside assistance image overnight.
okay. And tell us what else is going on the property, sir.
On the property, everything was clean. Last time Tom Rubel was there, was few box trucks there on the backyard. Everything's been cleaned up. There's no unregistered vehicle there. The only truck that I've been keeping there until this meeting going on, it's a truck that is legal to park. It's under 7 feet. So that's the only truck that I've been parking there overnight right now.
Okay, and what truck is that?
That's a 2021 Ram 5500.
Okay. So, and is that a tow truck or what is
Yeah,
it?
that's a Ram truck. Yes.
Okay, so you said trucks though, so you're looking to park more than one?
Yes, because sometimes I get a Ram truck that is bigger than 7 feet. And if I get, for example, like a F-350 dually, I'm not going to be able to tow with this vehicle. If I get a big Sprinter van for Amazon, for example, I'm not going to be able to tow with this Dodge.
Okay. So the other vehicle, does it I know one of the vehicles fulfills or fits the zoning criteria of trucks that are able to be parked in a residential zone. Does the other one?
The other one, no, the other one is over 7 feet. You know what I mean? It's a kind of heavy, it's a medium duty truck where I'd be
Okay.
able to get like a box trucks, you know what I mean? Medium sized duty trucks, heavy duty equipment.
Okay, so the second tow truck that you're trying to park on site does not adhere to the zoning bylaw.
No,
Okay, so we got that established. Based on information supplied to us by the zoning enforcement officer, specifically pictures, there was a bunch of cars parked on site. Like you said, there was box trucks, there was a skid steer. There was a lot of stuff on site that isn't
yeah,
supposed
all
to
the cars is gone, all the box truck is gone. The Bobcat's still there, belongs to the property. But everything else, there was a complaint for the neighbors, everything else is gone.
Okay. So you're running the business out of it, correct?
Right now, no, I'm just parking the truck overnight.
Okay. So you can't, are you the one that's driving both of the trucks?
Yes,
Okay, so you drive.
I get helpers during the day, but overnight is just me.
Okay, so you get help during the day. So
Yeah.
do you drive those trucks to the person's house that's going to drive it, or how does that all work?
When it's a roadside assistance, usually we pick up the customer on the drop-off location. I mean, on the pickup location, usually drop on the house or
My question is, again, during the day, you're not driving both trucks, correct?
no. During the day, my other drive, it was always stay home, or or bring it to the driver for he can do the work during the day. You know what I mean? Drivers keep. I get more than 2 trucks. My other driver keeps the other truck at his home.
So you only have the 2 trucks. Is that what you're saying?
No, I get 3 trucks, but all I needed at home is 2 trucks. Overnight parking.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Rubel. You get your ears on, Tom?
Yeah, I got you.
Based on the pictures that you sent, zoning board members, you saw all those pictures, is that correct?
Yes.
Those were from June, and there was a substantial amount of things that shouldn't be on the property. And Tom, I'm going to ask you this: Have you been in communication with both the fire department and the police department on this?
Yeah, I think the fire department was there. There's a letter, I believe, from the fire department. Have you seen that?
Not specifically, but I'm going to look it up right now.
I think they were there later than me.
I have a copy of it, Rob.
Is it something that that you can read?
I can read it.
If you can do
There's
it.
only 2 paragraphs.
Perfect, sir. If you can take care of that, that would be good.
This is from Tom Heaney, Deputy Fire Chief, sent November 17th, 2022 to Scott Duffy, Tom Royal, Dave Taylor, and Deb. CC to Doug Lapp regarding problem property worksheet.
Right.
Good morning. I went to 45 Greenwood yesterday after several canceled appointments by the homeowner. There are no major fire prevention violations, some cleaning and removal of some tires. There are several unregistered cars, trucks, and 2 boats. He has several box trucks bodies he is using as storage. He did attempt to bring in cars in and out, but never the 30 the neighbors complained he stored there.
I'm going to correct you. I did find it. He did admit to bringing cars in and out, but never the 30 they were complaining.
Right.
Felipe, are you bringing cars onto the property?
No,
Have you ever brought cars onto the property?
I bought in the past, yeah.
Okay. So,
I'm not bringing any cars right now after everything's going on. We stopped, I mean, I'm not storing any vehicles there at all. And all those box trucks that was there, everything has been gone also.
okay. When did that change?
All the trucks I moved like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Can you prove that?
Yeah, I can take some pictures.
So do you have those pictures with you?
I know, but I can go home. I'm like 2 minutes away. I can go there and take some pictures now.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. You're supposed to come prepared with all that stuff. So,
Hold on, I think I do have it. We didn't take any pictures from back there. Hold on. I think I did.
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
Yes,
sir.
do you think
I do have
a field trip would be in order?
That's kind of where I'm going. Felipe, did you want to say something? You were trying to say something.
Here, with the driver taking the last truck and shows that the box truck is not there anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna make a suggestion. I want to see if the zoning board has any objections to this. As Tom mentioned, this is kind of a field. I feel that this is a field trip situation to see what's going on, so we can get firsthand knowledge on what's going on here. It's coming down to there's a question as to whether the applicant is running his business on this property. There's a lot of complaints. There's a lot of things that are going on or that have gone on in this property, and we kind of need to see what's going on. And just so we're clear, Deb, you can take this down. Voting members on this is going to be myself, Mr. Tanzi, Mr. Haynes, and both Mr. Bakers. What do you guys think? Does this warrant a site visit?
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes, sir.
I think this application should be continued and that a complete site plan be drawn up and he have pictures of how much he's cleaned up, along with a visit from the zoning enforcement officer to make sure that it has been cleaned up. Because in the original zoning board hearing back in October of 2012,
Mhm.
he asked to be allowed to park a tow truck in his residential zone at 45 Greenwood Street.
Mhm.
Now he wants to park 2 trucks there, and he has an employee. So I think you're right that he is running a business out of this place. And not just parking his tow truck there. And in some of his answers, he doesn't leave until 9 o'clock in the morning. He's back home, not back home until 5 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
Now he's saying he's doing 24 hours.
Mhm. No, I understand that. The reason why, I can tell you this, the reason why the site plan requirement was kind of, well, I waived it at this point is because no amount of site plan as drawn by a registered land surveyor would really show what's going on the property. It's not a question of the property boundaries. It's a question of what's actually going on the site, and just from from personal experience, that is not necessarily something that would be shown on a site plan. The site plan would be drawn to whatever the applicant would tell him to draw it to. So that's why I look at this and I say a site visit is kind of more the way to go. We need to see what's going on there. Either way, I feel like there's a continuance going to happen. It's just a matter of requirements at this point. Like I said, a personal experience tells me that no level of site plan, unless it's drawn specifically to what we tell the surveyor, is going to suffice for what this situation calls for. So
I was just thinking that maybe we could, if we did grant them to park the trucks there,
Mhm.
that it would have to be so far away from the property lines and,
it's going to have to be that regardless. It's going to have to absolutely be that regardless. But in order to do that, site plan doesn't mean anything. You would have to actually have the property boundaries laid out on the ground so he could know exactly where X amount of feet off the property line is. That's why I'm saying the site plan requirement isn't necessarily
how about a plot plan?
same deal. This plot plans is not going to actually satisfy what this application really means. If you're telling me you don't want to go on site, tell me you don't want to go on site.
No, it's not that. I just,
I'm sorry. You guys more than welcome to come to the property anytime. I mean, to inspect it and make sure that I did clean what I'm telling you guys that I did.
Again, that's
You guys
really
can see exactly what's going on there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I understand. I tried it 12 years ago. I never did a roadside assistance back there. I was just one tow truck driver owner. I was doing only junk cars removal. So yes, I didn't have no time. If I didn't want to work, I didn't have to go. But right now I get contractors with bunch of insurance that I do roadside assistance all day. I do want to keep 2 trucks at home because I can drive both of us, not because I have employees. I get more employees, I get more trucks. They never come to my house. I never see them, to be honest. But at home, if I get a call for a box truck, for example, at 2:00 in the morning, I'm gonna have to go my own because I don't have drivers working overnight. So it's not like my driver is gonna come at home and pick up the truck and go to work. It's something that I do myself.
All right, but that what you're saying is that does happen. Your employees come to the house, they pick up the truck and go.
No, he don't do that. I'm the only one drives the trucks that stays at home. I get more trucks than my driver park at his house. So if he has to work during the day, he don't work overnight. But if he has to work during the day, he leaves from his house. Truck stays on his house all week.
Okay. Tom, you're recommending a site visit?
Yes.
Board members, zoning enforcement officer is recommending a site visit. Talk to me.
I feel we should do.
Can it be done after the holidays?
Can it be done after the holidays? I'd prefer to do it sooner rather than later.
Before the snowfall.
Yeah, and I don't know what the weather's going to be, but it's literally going to take 20 minutes to a half an hour out of the day.
When's our next meeting? I just don't have the calendar in front of me. The 22 calendar.
January 3rd,
Okay.
Okay.
and we already have stuff on it.
Yeah, and it's literally, like I said, the site meeting would be 30 minutes out of a Saturday. And if nobody's going to be around, let's say this Saturday, and it should be a real quick situation.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm not available this coming Saturday, and the following Saturday is Christmas Eve, so,
All right? How about Sunday?
yep, that's fine.
Sunday would work. Can anybody spare 30 minutes on a Sunday?
Yep.
Does that work for everybody? Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if we said Sunday, let's get together at 45 Greenwood Street, Sunday, the 18th at, give me a time, everybody. I don't know who goes to church and who doesn't, so.
10 o'clock.
Gregor?
Yeah,
Oh, well, is that church, is that during church?
yeah.
Well, then, no. I mean, can we do it a little, and what time's church?
It gets out at, well, I'll be home at noon, at 11:30.
All right, so how's high noon? Does that work?
Yeah,
Works for me.
All right, so Sunday, the 18th at high noon, yes?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we conduct a site visit on Sunday, December 18th at high noon at 45 Greenwood Street. I got the motion, so I need a second.
Oh, humbug.
I got a second there, roll call, myself is a yes, Mr. Tanzi,
yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Baker, thank you, Mr. Baker Senior, Mr. Baker Junior.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Rubel, can you make that? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Felipe, we're gonna look for a continuance at this point. And we're all gonna show up to your place at 12 noon. All right?
Yep.
So coffee and cake, that would be nice.
Hey.
Okay.
I'm kidding, I'm absolutely kidding.
Nice omelette.
No, we don't do it, we don't go there. So we're gonna do that. So at this point, I would entertain a motion for continuance.
Do
Rob,
we need to continue it to a date certain?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do.
Rob, aren't we supposed to be discussing the appeal of the zoning board's decision, the zoning enforcement officer?
I think that the appealing the zoning enforcement officer is based on the fact that it's been presented that he's running a business out of the property.
Okay.
That is severely detrimental to the neighborhood. That's the thing. And based on a site examination and what he's going to present as what he's doing on site, that's what we have to make the determination.
Okay.
So again, I would entertain a motion to continue to a date and time certain. Deb, what do you think we can look at?
We can do January 3rd.
Okay.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I got a motion. Do we need a second? We need a second. I got a second from Mr. Baker. So roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yeah.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Junior.
Yes.
All right. So we've got a continuance. That's all set. And again, Sunday at high noon. We'll see you then.
Rob, do we need anything else from the applicant?
At this point, you tell me. What do you think? What do you think we need? I mean, again, the site plan is not gonna do anything. Not in this situation.
He won't be able to produce one in time anyway.
No, it's that's been the biggest problem. That has been the biggest problem at this point. He couldn't find anybody to take it on because everybody was too busy. So that I can respect. He's claiming that he made the attempt. But after looking at it, it wasn't gonna do anything. We're not trying to prove property boundaries. We're not trying to prove topography. We're not trying to prove lot shape. Nothing that a site plan would show would really help or hurt the situation. So it just didn't make any sense to end up requiring it. So Mr. Baker, were you thinking anything specific?
No, because we got pictures and we're gonna look at the lot and stuff.
As of right now, Mr. Rubel?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, can we have those two trucks there on Sunday at noon?
Felipe?
I can try it.
Well, we're gonna need to take measurements on these trucks, sir. You know, that's really what it comes down to.
The
That's
truck
right.
is definitely over 7 feet.
All right, so you're already telling us that it does not meet the zoning bylaw.
Yeah, I mean, the truck it definitely won't pass. I mean, the only one is gonna pass is the one is there. The other one is definitely high. It's a Freightliner. It's a big truck. It's on the shop. I'm not sure if it's gonna be ready by the weekend, but if it is ready, I'll bring it home, no problem.
All right, Mr. Rubel, are you okay with that? And he's coming up and saying that it's not gonna work. Okay. Mr. Galley,
I was just wondering if the truck wasn't there, could he bring a copy of the registration or some sort of document like that, just
Yeah.
to see what it is?
I can bring a picture also. Yep, that's not a problem.
yeah, that'll work. Good suggestion, sir. I appreciate that.
I'd like to see the gross vehicle weight of them.
It should be on the registration, correct?
Right. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure. So registration for both, all your trucks.
okay. That works.
Copies.
All right, anybody else?
Nope.
All right, I'll take that as a no. All right. Felipe, you're on notice. We'll see you Sunday at noon.
Good.
All right, sir. Thank you. Okay, 8:00. 7:45. I'm not gonna read it again. Mr. and Mrs. Pluff, how you doing?
All right, how are you?
Not too bad. I'm not gonna, as I said, I'm not gonna read it again. I already read it. Everybody knows what we're here to do. I'm assuming that all my zoning board members have seen the plans. Yes?
Yes.
They've seen the plans. Board members, do we need the plans put up on the screen?
No.
No, we comfortable with this? All right. So, who's going to speak on behalf of the Pluffs?
Guessing most of it's probably gonna be me, and
Okay.
our contractor Dave is also here, who's our contractor, which
All right,
is
sounds good.
Dave. So we tried to come prepared.
No, you're on top. You're definitely on top. Just
you
tell us
know-
what you're proposing.
Yeah, so obviously, our house was built in 1952, before most of the zoning was enforced and in place. So we kind of just want to take it out of the 70s and just update it and get rid of that chimney that's leaking that is 90% cosmetic, and we just need to take that out, switch the heat. And while we're doing that, we figured if we're doing some of it, might as well just do everything we've always wanted.
Understood.
And change the entryway so that'll face the street instead. So I know that the stairways will be within, they won't be 25 feet from the street. And then the back stairway is all bricks right now. We want to move the door a little bit over and get rid of those bricks because we've had plenty of mice coming in and out of this house because they've been finding every little nook and cranny in those brick steps that have been falling apart for years. And again, that would be the whole house itself is non-conforming because it's not within the 50 feet for the setbacks in the back of the house.
Mhm.
So we were just looking to try and get permits to do all that. And with the, the 2-car garage isn't going any further front or any further back than what the house is already.
Okay.
And the side of it is already within the 15 feet that it needs for the setbacks on the side.
Okay. Well, if you think you're finished, what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up to the board members for questions. Do you mind? Does that work for you?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Tanzi, talk.
Thank you.
So, I'm looking at the plan. You're not increasing the nonconformity on the right side setback. It's just the rear yard setback. The whole house can't even be put in the envelope, the setback envelope, and you're further away from the rear lot line than the rest of the house, correct?
Yes.
I don't have any questions.
Sounds good, sir. Mr. Haynes.
I think, as I understand it, there will be an open covered porch that will be closer to the front. That's within the setback, and that's the non-conformity that's getting worse. So and it's open, right? It's just an open covered
Yeah.
couple of steps. Great. Great. I don't have any other questions about it.
Sounds good. Mr. Baker Senior,
I have no questions.
no questions.
Everything
Mr. Baker Jr.? No questions? Okay, Mr. Galley?
Forgive me for missing this, but just curious, how many bedrooms did it have, or does it now have, and how many will it have with the change?
There you go.
It has two.
Right now, it just has two.
Yep.
And at the end, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'll be 5 after, if we can get the garage with the bedrooms above.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I was curious about that. I didn't know if that meant anything. So I wondered.
Yeah, it kind of does. Tom, what's with 5 bedrooms? Is there a minimum parking?
When it comes time to pull the permit, I'll be looking for a sign off from the sewer department.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because that's a major increase in the bedrooms. My question was, because isn't there, I thought the parking count was based on number of bedrooms too, even in a residential dwelling. Is that, no? Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Is there anybody in general public that wants to speak in favor of this application?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm sorry, good evening, Mr. Chairman. My
Yeah.
name's David Waldrop. We are the abutters to the rear of the property.
Do you have a camera, sir, so we can see who we're talking to?
Oh, 1 second. Technical difficulties here.
There we go.
There we go. Turn the button on. So we are the abutters to the rear of the property. Understanding that it doesn't meet the setback. Right now, I did speak to Karen and Greg today. I did have some questions and they answered them all. I wanted to ask them if it was going to have some sort of deck off the bedrooms. They assured me it would not. So I do not oppose this project at all.
Sounds good. I appreciate you coming and stepping up. That's good. Anybody else want to speak in favor? Anybody want to speak opposed?
Mr. Chairman, we do have one letter from a neighbor.
We do have one letter. Then I'm gonna stick it to you one more time, sir. Why don't you read that letter?
This is to the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals from Frederick Slinger, I believe it is, regarding Greg and Karen dated December 2nd. Please note that Greg and Karen and children have been great neighbors for years, and we realize they need this addition to the current home as they are in need of more space. They have no objections to anything they are proposing to be done to accommodate their family. Thank you, Frederick Slinger, Jr., 1316 Berlin Street.
Nice. So that's two people in favor, correct?
Yes.
I like it. And I've got nobody that wants to speak against it. Mr. Rubel, is there anything else you wanna say on this one?
No, I have no issues.
All right, gentlemen, do you think you have enough information to make a decision tonight?
Yeah.
All right,
I do.
I would,
Motion to close the hearing.
nice, I got a motion.
Second,
Got a second roll call. Myself, yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yeah.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Junior.
yes.
All right, let me just get into my cheat sheet here and I'll close the open portion of the, all right, we've closed the open portion of the hearing. The board will deliberate tonight and you are welcome to stay. You will receive a decision in the mail with a date stamp. 21 days from the date stamp on the decision, go to the town clerk's office, request a certificate of no appeal, and if no one has appealed, the town clerk will give you a certification and a copy of the original decision. Take those to the registry of deeds, have them recorded. One of the conditions is always to show the building department proof of recording. All set? Okay, let's, all right, decision making time.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve 100%.
Yes.
Let me just get to the plan one more time.
Degree of the dimensional variance.
It's, it would be a dimensional variance. Here's my issue. All right. The rear, no problems with it. Rear, no problems with it. They're already in the setback. They're already in the setback, and based on what we've dealt with before, if you're already in the setback, you can continue. And the sheer fact that the proposed closest corner of the garage, where it meets the existing structure, is still further away than the closest existing corner of the house. So the rear have no problem. Right side have no problem. The main addition for the house have no problem. That front covered entry, that's the problem. So what I would need is I need a reasoning that we can cite to grant said variance. So Mr. Baker, if you could help me with that, I'm glad to entertain that.
Well, it'd only be on the right side. Because the left side of the porch would be 25.6 feet.
Looking at the wrong numbers, sir.
No, I'm not.
Well, if you look at the numbers that you're looking at, the proposed entry porch, all right?
Right.
The left
Yeah.
side is 23.2. The right side is 22.7. The existing house that's there, the existing house corner is 25.5. Again, it's another one of those situations Tim cited that the issue is they already meet the setback. They didn't meet the setback, we could grant this. But because the front of the house, no matter where you are on the front of the house, already meets the current setback, anything else would be a direct dimensional variance, and I need a reasoning. So if somebody could help me with a reasoning on this.
Mr. Chairman, could we ask counsel for perhaps some guidance on how that should be phrased?
Let's do that. Mr. Riley. Tony.
I'm here, sorry.
All right, turn your camera on so we can see your head, see the fact that you haven't combed your hair in 2 weeks.
No, my hair is not looking great right now, but I'll do it just for you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, it's not so bad, sir. It looks like you just came from a concert. You're all good. I need a reason. You know what I mean? You know the reasoning that I need here. The rear, no problems, no issues. We've granted this in the past with no issues since that court case got brought to light. So what do we do here?
Do they need, is it definitely a variance? Is there any, can this be considered a special permit for adding the porch on in this case?
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. So
We did ask for the special, yeah, we did ask for the section 6 finding, and then we did do the, we asked for both things, the section 6 finding and
Section
zoning.
6, the section 6 is for the rear.
Yeah,
Sorry, because you're already in there. The front, the front, from what I can see, is definitely a dimensional variance.
okay.
Because you're not in, if the closest corner to that house was less than 25,
Mhm.
we'd be perfect. We'd be perfect and we could do that. There's case law out there that says that basically we cite to be able to do that and we're good. So again, when it comes to special permit, I don't know how we're able to grant that special permit. Tony, talk to me.
Are you saying that you can't apply the special permit portion to the front of the house because it's conforming in that section?
Yeah. That's my general understanding of it.
So
Yeah,
does it matter that my door currently is facing my neighbor's house and we're just trying to get an exit out of my house if I move my front door to face the street?
No,
so I don't see, I haven't seen the plan, but I mean, I think if you can tie the shape of the lot or the
rectangle.
how the house is situated on the lot, and if they need to move their front door, it's related to the location of the house on the lot, and I just haven't seen it, but
I mean, I have pictures of what my house looks like now and then what is going to look like if that would matter.
oh, I'm sure you've done that. I'm just saying that I haven't personally seen it, so I'm not commenting
I'm
on
saying
it.
I could share it now if you wanted to see. That's what I'm saying. I have them up.
I don't think it's gonna do anything, because what's happening is you're changing, I know you want to change the placement of the main entry for the house. But the reason why you need to change it is because you're adding on to that side of the house, correct?
Correct.
Right, so that's a self-imposed hardship. If not for the addition, the main entry could stay where it is. You know what I mean? So that's it. I'm trying to come up with a reason as to legally how we can do this.
The house ain't split a lot to begin with.
Say again?
The house isn't split a lot. It's 28 on the left side and 25 on the right side towards the
Yeah.
drive. So it's making the,
I'm just confused because I feel like we grant, we people put additions on, we've given them when they've been conforming and they go over by a couple of feet. So I think in lots of cases, this, in my opinion, where
you can't really do
to have
that.
an open porch, the benefit of it is, it's the porch itself. To have some covered steps to move it to the front, I think is a reasonable request.
Very true. The only problem with that is a porch turns into an enclosed structure instantaneously. That's the biggest problem, and that's why front entries like this, covered entries, do have to adhere to the zoning bylaw. That's the biggest issue. Listen, guys, convince me. Talk to me, convince me, and somebody make a motion. You hear what I'm saying, I think.
I already made a motion to approve.
Is the porch open or covered?
Open. The porch is always open.
Is there a foundation underneath it, or is it on sonotube?
Mr. and Mrs. Pluff?
It's
How
going
much-
to be on sonotubes.
All right, sonotubes, we got that answered.
Oh, does it
Still
porch
technically,
need our definition of a structure?
yep.
What does Tom feel about it?
Mr. Robel, what are your feelings on this?
Well, is this porch, is this enclosure, this entryway?
No,
No, it's just it's a little, like a little deck with a step.
pretty much, yeah.
It's going to have a roof.
It's gonna have a roof.
Yeah, a hangover to cover the front doorway.
Okay,
You
but
know, I can bring up the picture if you want to see what the front of the house would look like.
Oh, it's okay. We know what you're proposing.
Yeah.
We're asking to make sure that we're all on the same page.
It's just a little covered porch with like 2 steps.
well, Tony,
Yeah,
I have in the building code, I think you're well aware that if somebody was to do a ramp or an egress or a set of stairs for egress or ingress, it's not counted in the setback. Would this be a case where, well, that's an entryway that it was not necessarily be counted for the setback, the frontage?
I mean, I think that's up to the board to actually decide. I know some towns consider these types of things structures, and others treat them more like stairs and ramps and whatnot that you're describing.
Right.
Let me pose a scenario here. And unfortunately, we can't talk, we can't talk to the applicant, we can't talk to the applicant's builder, we can't talk to anybody except for within ourselves. So here's my question. So I guess this is going to Mr. Rubin. What if they cantilevered the roof? Did not attach it to the deck, so then it's not transferred all the way to the ground? What if it was just, again, a cantilevered roof? Can they do that?
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify, I'm just confused about so I just want to read this. Maybe I just am misunderstanding why this discussion. So in our bylaw,
Mhm.
non-conforming uses, so alteration. So we all know this is a pre-existing non-conforming structure, right?
Only in the rear.
It does, there's no, it doesn't ask for like specific, and then our bylaw doesn't say it's whether it's in one condition or another, except I'll get to that in a second. Just pre-existing non-conforming structures.
Mhm.
Full stop. May be extended or altered, provided that no such extension or alteration shall be permitted unless there is a finding by the ZBA that the extension or alteration is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing non-conforming structure or use. The issue of that non-conformity, well, anyway, we'll get back to that particular rule, whatever that's called, the Thompson rule or whatever that is. That's altogether something different. That's our bylaw. We can make that finding. So, but if certain alterations, if they're making an alteration to a non-conforming structure and it's within the setback, they don't have to come to us. I mean, the whole point of coming to us is for us to say it's not substantially more detrimental. So I think the fact this is a non-conforming structure, there's no, I think we're okay to look at this as a Section 6 finding. So I think if somebody came to us and the entire building was completely conforming and they wanted to put an addition on that was not conforming into the setbacks, that's a variance. So that's what I'm confused about, Tony. If you could, am I missing this?
Yeah. So under the pre-existing non-conforming, the statute 48 section 6, and then the case law that has to do with it, says similar to what you said about what our bylaw says about it not being more substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. But that's only if there's already a nonconformity. If you're adding a new nonconformity that doesn't exist now, it requires a variance. And if the front of this house is not over the setback line and this stairway and porch roof structure is a new nonconformity that doesn't already exist, then they need a variance for it. You can't give a special permit for it to increase it in that area.
That's the statute, because that's not our bylaw. That's not what our bylaw says. So you're saying that our bylaw does not make the case about it's a new nonconformity. It's simply, in a sense, it just simply says that no such extension or alteration should be permitted unless there's a finding.
Right, but we're not. You're not extending a nonconformity in the front, and you're not altering the building. Well, you are in the back, but there would be another, I don't know, comma or creating a new nonconformity, but that's not what the bylaw says. So the bylaw is actually consistent with what the law says. The bylaw doesn't say that you can create a new nonconformity under the nonconforming uses section.
Okay.
Extending the nonconforming structure is different than creating a new nonconformity in the front of the building.
Okay, I will let that, I'll leave that there. And then I will make the case that this particular lot is not very deep, that these non-conformities, both where the house is sited and the directions that they can go and where they can put the lot, they have made this as conforming as possible, but the the issue with the lots in that neighborhood is that they're very wide and they're not very deep. So they've got a house that has a huge side yard and really no front, not much front yard and not much backyard. So
That sounds like a lot shape argument to grant a variance.
Lot shape.
that's the argument I'm making.
Would
Very
you,
wide.
I say that
very shallow.
approvingly, by the way. I mean, that's, if you're looking for a variance, that seems, if the lots are shaped in a way where these houses are kind of stuck where they are and they have large side yards and small front and backyards, then that's a reasonable variance analysis for the lot shape.
Tim, you want to make a motion?
I would make a motion to approve the variance and approve the section 6 finding as applied for.
Okay, let's look at this and just make sure when it comes to the variance, what they're requesting is for the front is a 20 foot. Yeah, great. It was 25 minus 22.7. For the front, they're requesting a 2.3 foot front variance. And then for the rear, again, I don't know how to word this because the rear is kind of the section 6. But again, it's
Our finding is just that it's not substantially more detrimental.
yeah, that's okay. So the rear, I'm not going to worry about it. The front, they're requesting a, what did I say? A 2.3 foot?
Yes.
2.3.
2.3 foot front variance. So we got a motion. Do we got a second? I
Second.
got a second. I got 3 seconds. I'm gonna look for a roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Junior.
Yes.
Lots, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're gonna word this appropriately, and as soon as you'll get a copy of the decision in the mail after 21 days. Go to the town clerk, get that copy, record it with the registry of deeds over in Rockland on Hingham Street. You know where that is?
Yep.
Record it with them. Take the recording, give it to Tom Rubel, and you should be fine from there. Deb, you good?
Mhm.
Got everything we need at this point?
Nothing else.
Wanna go home? Are we good? Yes?
Yes.
We're good.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion second, roll, Mr. Baker Junior, Mr. Baker Senior. You said something.
I just asked if we had to make a motion to accept these minutes. Not the minutes, but the dates for our hearings on the calendar thing here.
I don't think we need to make a motion to accept them. And this is. Deb, you
Well,
just,
we had a, when we're gonna change to these next week's meetings to tonight, we had to do it, we had to put it on the agenda. Instead
But
of,
we did that before, though. The last meeting voted.
right, but we haven't voted to accept these dates for our public hearings for next year, from January to December of next year.
that's
You
next
guys
year,
can
next year's
get that?
calendar.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to- no, that's just kind of placeholders.
Okay.
Those are more than, that's the only reason why that gets done is kind of to, back in the day, to reserve the room. You know what I mean? To reserve either an upstairs room or a downstairs room. We're continuing to do this as Zoom, as long as humanly possible. So it's going to come down to, and depending on applications, depending on timing, we may get in the same situation that we were in, having 2 meetings per month. And while I know we don't want to get to that point, but that's the reason why we don't have to do that.
Okay.
So I got a motion, I got a second. Anybody else? Roll call myself, yes. Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yeah.
Baker Senior,
Yes.
Baker Junior.
Yes, sir.
Get out of here.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
That'll be